guys, today we're going to work on 4.2, so like actually identifying ratios, writing them, what does ratios mean, all that stuff. So make sure you have your Unit 4 packet, and that it's open to 4.2. If you don't have your packet for whatever reason, you at least need a piece of paper so you can be writing the examples down with me, okay? So make sure that what I write, you write, and then if you have any questions, just email me or somehow let me know. Let's get started. Okay, so ratios. Remember from our vocab before, ratios are basically comparing two quantities. And I use the example of like teachers to students. So we have a ratio for every 5 students, I want 1 teacher to be in the classroom. So every time we add 5 more students, I need to add 1 more teacher. Okay, so it's comparing two things, saying that there's some sort of relationship between these two numbers. I can't think of another one off the top of my head. I always go to teachers and students, okay? So our goal for the day is that we can write a ratio and find its value. So I can find a ratio and its value. Okay? Remember that the value of the ratio is one number that kind of describes the relationship between them. Okay? So a ratio can be written one of 3 ways. It can be written as a colon, that's the 2 dots, so thing A compared to thing B. We read this as A2, not the number 2 like T-O, A to B. I'm comparing them to each other. It can be written as a fraction, A over B, and yes, it has to be in that order. So whatever comes first has to go on top of the fraction. So we have with a colon, these 2 dots are a colon, A to B, or A to B as a fraction. Okay, and then words would be A to B. So for every A, we have a B, right? Okay. I'll make me a little smaller. How about that? Okay, so we're going to write some ratios using this sample of letters. It's just a random list, okay? So I want to find the ratio of A's to B's. So I'm going to count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 A's, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 B's. So for every 4 A's, there are 5 B's. So if I wanted to add 4 more A's, I would have to add 5 more B's, okay? As a colon, that would be 4, 2, 5. And as a fraction, that is 4 over 5. Remember, the one in the first spot right there always goes on top of the fraction, okay? Okay, next example, we're going to find the ratio of C to all letters, okay? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 C's, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 letters. Okay? So for every 16 letters, there's 4 C's. As a colon, it's 4 colon 16, 4 to 16. As a fraction, it is 4. Man. It does not want to write. Goodness gracious. Fine, I'll use my finger. I don't need fancy technology. So 4 over 16. Okay? I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Okay, next one, we want to compare B's to D's. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 B's. 2, 1, 2, 3 D's. So out is a colon, that is 5, 2, 3. As a fraction, it's 5 over 3. That number we write first always goes on top of the fraction, okay? All right, vowels to consonants. Remember, vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. We're not going to include Y. Okay? So vowels, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and consonants are all the other letters that aren't a vowel. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the ratio of vowels to consonants is 4 to 12. Writing that with a colon. Oh, I should have written the words. This one should be 2, the words 2. There we go. So with a colon, it is 4 to 12. And as a fraction, it's 4 over 12. Okay? So these are just saying, for every 4 A's, I have 5 B's. For every 4 C's, there's 16 total letters. For every 5 B's, there's 3 D's. It's showing that there's some sort of relationship there. And that relationship's going to stay the same. Okay? All right. So the value of a ratio. The value of the ratio means to write the ratio as a simplified fraction. Okay, there we go. So we just write it as a fraction like we did before. Okay, so the first number goes on top. So 5 to 6 would become 5/6. Okay, 4 to 12. I do 4 over 12. Then I need to reduce. I can divide these both by 4. Four divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the value of the ratio 4 to 12 is 1/3. And what that means is if I said there are let's do students to teachers. 4 teachers for every 12 students. Okay, that means that there are 1/3 as many teachers as there are students. Okay, so I took the value of the ratio, 4 to 12, and I simplified it to 1/3. So if I want to find out if I have more students than that, and I want to find out how many teachers there should be, I take the number of students, 1/3 of that is going to give me the number of teachers I need. Okay? Alright, so if it has a fraction, we can still do it. So I'm going to do 1/5 over 2. Okay? So remember that fraction bars mean division, so I'm going to do 1/5 divided by 2. And then to divide fractions, we keep the first fraction, switch to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction. It becomes 1/10. Okay? So the first number goes on top, the second number goes on bottom. 1/5 over 2 is the same as 1/5 divided by 2. I put it into a fraction by putting it over 1. Then to divide fractions, we keep the first one, switch to multiplication, flip the second fraction. 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 2 is 10. Okay? So a ratio is just a comparison of two values. Okay? So if I, like Kool-Aid, let's do one more example. I know this is kind of going long. Let's do one more example of Kool-Aid. So a Kool-Aid recipe is for every scoop of powder, you need 1 cup of water, right? So a ratio of scoops to water, for every 1 scoop, you need 1 cup of water. So if I wanted to have 2 scoops, so if I added 1 scoop, I would need to add another cup of water. So for 2 scoops, you would need 2 cups of water, right? That ratio is saying that this relationship is going to stay the same. It's not, one side's not just changing, they're going to stay the same between each other. Or if for every 2 scoops, let's say that, you needed 3 cups of water. Okay? So for 2 scoops, you need 3 cups of water. Okay? So if I wanted to add 2 more scoops and have 4 scoops total, I would have to add the same ratio of water. So I'd have to add 3 cups of water to get 6 cups total if I wanted to double the recipe. So that's kind of what the ratio is. It's saying that, like, I want these amounts to have the same relationship, right? If I didn't add enough water, it's too strong. If you add too much water, it's weak. It doesn't taste good, right? So for every 2 scoops you add, you have to also add 3 cups of water. So that's kind of what the value means. And it's kind of confusing. Anyway, so writing a ratio, it can be written with words, a colon, or as a fraction, and then the value of the ratio is just the simplified fraction. Okay? All right. Good job today. I'll see you later. Have a good one.